Alright, we got the audio on, nigga. Set Fate Podcast, nigga. Face God, you feel me? Episode 3, you feel me? Still got the unreleased music bunking in this motherfucker. We just getting ready, you feel me? So, yeah, man. Episode 3, we got Ancient Concepts Part 2 today. You feel me? I'm just finna express some ancient philosophies in this motherfucker. Yeah. You feel me? That's what we doing today. Shut this off. Get this going. Boom. Alright, we going on this motherfucker right now. Yes, sir. Alright. Alright, so I got some notes. Yeah, slap it. I got some notes pulled up. You feel me? Of some ancient shit we finna discuss. And how that relates to today and shit. And so yeah, I'm about to talk about some knowledge and some science, some ancient science that people don't really know about. So last episode, or the first episode, I was talking a little bit about Atlantis, and we were discussing essentially the potential location of that place and why or how some of the energy affects the island. That's what I was talking about. But we gonna go a little deeper into that motherfucker today. Not just the island, but I think some explanations behind that energy. So the energy is we're talking about is the electromagnetic grid that exists on Earth. And this energy actually exists like a grid around the planet. So what I believe is that you can essentially utilize geometrical patterns in relation to this grid, putting some kind of receiver of energy or transmitter on these locations on Earth, and I think it can increase your frequencies and your energy. You feel me? I think that you can. I think that that's why if you look into a lot of these megalithic structures that actually put on these energy cross sections of the grid. And so what I think it helps them with is multiple things. I think it helps them with power such as acoustic, levitation. I think it helps them with different levels of consciousness and learning different levels of mathematics. I think essentially when you put yourself in one of these megalithic structures and you get the harmonics right and the frequencies right, I think that the geometry combines with the sound waves and can actually change not only your physical state but the state of your consciousness. And I think that this can let you access either higher knowledge or higher math or higher understandings of the world and the different beings around us. You feel me? And I think with that they utilize things such as like building temples or making geometry or making their structures in such a way to where it actually changed the state of the people's consciousness and to where they were aware of certain things and to where they're probably more willing to do certain things. In terms of if you were somebody who had access to this knowledge, then you were essentially one of the creators of the society in a sense. So you probably were, the way that they say that you're being inducted into a god is probably a initiation process in which they're choosing you to because they think you're probably prepared or ready for the next state of consciousness. So yeah, I think that's what they use it for, is essentially learning, building, and crafting new ideas. And I think this is the same thing as magic. I think that like when people draw geometry in the nature, and when people are using, yeah, different shapes and using different materials and how they relate to the nature and the shapes, I think that it can create it's like a sort of wavelength or pattern that can cause, maybe depending on the pattern and how you use it, certain events or different ripples in the continuum of energy. Because all energy in quantum physics, all energy is in a super state of a wave and a particle. So anything that exists is linked essentially to anything else that exists in like a geometrical formation. So in when it's in its wave state. So what that means is, if you can somehow access that wave state, then you have the ability essentially to manipulate the actual foundations of the quantum mechanics of reality in the place or the space that you're in. Because space moves on these patterns of wavelengths. Like gravity, for example, bends space because of the energy's effect on the space around it. So if you can literally change the space in which you're in and change the consciousness, then you can probably access some kinds of powers or ideas or information that you or anyone previous to doing this were particularly unaware of. I think that's also what shamans do. And when you sit in a circle, you take a plant. I think accessing nature is the same thing as like accessing geometry and energy. That's what it is. It grows in geometrical formations, and it is an energetic pattern. Yeah, so I think that with this, the new information that you get is probably dependent on how you use what you're using. So if for example, you gain new understandings on per se a plant or a geometrical pattern and how it relates to a certain environment or a certain being, then you can start to consciously move in the direction of what that plant or shape or sound is capable of doing. If you find the right, for example, if you find the right resonance, you can break a glass cup. You feel me? I'm sure if you found the right resonance, probably even in your voice, you could break a fucking table, or at least you could use it in technology or a drum or some sort. So with that understanding, you'd be able to not only break objects or cut them, for example, like the pyramids, but you could also lift them and put them into different places. You could probably communicate with animals or different kinds of entities that exist in different states or spectrums of consciousness, because if you're accessing different wavelengths with the drums or with the sounds or with the shapes, if you're accessing different wavelengths, then you're actually communicating with a different spectrum of light than you would normally be communicating with or perceiving. So you actually are accessing outside of your normal state of awareness by going into these states, because it's like a new sense pattern is unlocked, a new way of perceiving things. And there's actually studies done where sound can manipulate your actual DNA, meaning that you could literally use sound to probably, hypothetically, program your DNA into growing into a different way, if the math was done right. I think that you could also use, if you could use acoustic levitation to levitate an object, you could also use it to, if for example, if you look up these acoustic levitation videos, it shows them floating like ping pong balls. But I think if you turn, there's a theory, maybe if you turn those plates upside down and there was an object that was carrying those plates, then those plates would potentially lift the object through the wave. I'm not sure if that will work. That's just a theory I have. So I think that through these geometric patterns, through these shapes, through these sounds, and the geometric patterns being the structures or the different chemicals or the different nature that you're engaging with, um, through the shapes, structures, and sounds, you can access different levels of consciousness, meaning you could communicate or involve with information and nature that exists outside the spectrum of what we're normally used to seeing. So that consists of beings, information, potentially even objects, potentially even different realms. Because if something exists in our room in one state and we're starting to tune into essentially a different wavelength, then we could be seeing other things that are in the same room when we're in a different state, if that makes sense. So that means we could we could have some sort of we essentially already have the abilities to be able to do this due to the fact that our brains operate on a wavelength, and that is what dictates our perception and our senses. So we have the ability to do this, meaning with this understanding, we have the ability to consciously go in any direction, essentially in the universe of creation. We could create anything utilizing almost anything. I'm sure that there is certain limitations on some things, but if you put, for example, something that enhances your brain waves to use, like a shroom, you put the shroom to use, involvement with learning about the geometry of, say, say if you knew like the quantum mechanics of a dollar bill or something, you could use the shroom and the quantum mechanics information and probably find a shape that brings certain matter together in an area and probably literally manifest a dollar bill from thin air, essentially. Think that's possible, probably pretty easily. A human could probably learn to do that within like a few hours of studying that way. Because if you understand the knowledge of frequencies and energy, kind of like what Nikola Tesla said, if you understand vibration, frequency, and energy, you understand the universe, because all matter in the universe has a vibration and a wavelength, meaning it's linked in a geometrical pattern with other matter. So there's like a bigger wave event happening when you are just aware of like yourself as a drop in the water. There's actually like a wave happening, and if you look at the wave on the shoreline, it's fucking across the whole beach. You feel me? And then that wave is involved with the ocean and how that is getting moved by, you feel me, the boat that's driving by in that motherfucker. And like all you are aware of is like just this little droplet, but really you don't know why your life is moving so fast. It's because your life got pushed by that boat, big ass metal unidentified object over there. You feel me? So yeah, we talking about boats again in this in this month. But yeah, I think essentially you could literally manifest new ideas from thin air with the knowledge of frequency, vibration, and energy. And just by being aware of even those words. If you think about it, the words that I'm saying have their own power of frequency, vibration, and energy. You feel me? So just those words themselves, I'm sure you could probably chant that shit and come to some new consciousness about it. You feel me? You probably can learn about it just by speaking those words. Probably what happened to me, nigga. As they say in the Bible, the word was God. You feel me? The word was with God. All that shit. It's like that's all everything is an energy, is a frequency. But knowing that is a new understanding, because that means there's a field of energy. And you aren't just this body, you are the field of all energy that's happening, especially around you. That's what's most directly affecting you. So you are that. There's no separation. You are inseparable from the space around you and the other energies connected around you. You can't remove yourself from it. You are unable. It's impossible. You are the field of energy, just like we are on the field of space. It's the same shit, essentially. It is the same thing. So it's like a realm. You feel me? It's a realm. Excuse me. I be drinking on this podcast every time, so I nigga be burping. But yeah. So you can change the shape of that realm, or the state of that realm, or the philosophy of that realm, or the principle of it, just by speaking it. You can change it, because by speaking it, you are being it. There's no difference. And by you being it, it is. You feel me? Through the universe. Like, so by it being by it being, there is no separation from your consciousness to all that has ever happened and all that will happen, meaning it exists right now and all possibilities are here. And that's literally science. In Newton's laws of physics, all energy exists as potential or kinetic, meaning all energy exists from the future, from the past, everything. Right now, it exists as the potential, or it's existing as something else. So that's why death isn't real. And that's why there isn't a spirit world. This is the spirit world. There's no separation. It just is it. Like, and that's why different people have different experiences, and some people don't understand others. And some people, like, someone might tell somebody a ghost story or something, and somebody might completely not believe that shit, but maybe to one or the other, that shit is completely real, bruh. Might have been as real as you might be thinking that something has to be for it to be proven to you. You feel me? In the way that it would have been valid to you, that happened to them. You feel me? But you can't see, it didn't happen to you. So you can only really judge shit by your own experience. So it's almost like every second you're creating your own universe, in a sense. It's like in between the universe dictating things and you. And that's like, that gray area is the creation. And that is you. And it's inseparable from the moment. Meaning all of you, the universe is a freestyle, bruh. And it's a magic freestyle. You feel me? You can essentially just say dollar bill, y'all, nigga, and that shit pop up. For real. That's how it works. That's how this shit works. Because think about it. Like KRS-One said, in your mind, when you speak, who's the one speaking? That's the real you. You feel me? In your mind, when there's a voice, how do you hear it? How's there something speaking and you hear it within yourself? It's literally a reflection of this. It's the same thing. You feel me? And that's where all your creations come from anyways, is your mind. But how you perceive it is sound. You perceive it as sound, nigga. Because that's what it is. So it's like when you die, you probably gonna still hear your damn voice, nigga. In that one. When you die, you probably gonna be like, damn, what the fuck happened, nigga? I was just in a body. I just got shot. Damn. Now I don't have shit. I'm just floating around. All I see is blackness. What the fuck? That's crazy. It's probably like that. And then you might be like, oh shit. I hear my grandma voice. Like, oh shit. Like, grandma, is that you? And she might be like, yeah, nigga, it's me. Like, you might look, cause it's sound, bruh. So how does energy exist other than sound? And if you know how to, like, if you within yourself can hear yourself, nigga, that means when you die, that shit don't go away. The energy has a frequency, nigga. So your voice still exists beyond death. That's why when people say there's entities, probably is what happens is they're communicating. That's what they describe it as. They don't describe it as like it killed me or this action happened really, or like they can't really say there's much of an action. It's just I was told something, or I communicated with this. I heard this message. You feel me? Even when people talk about God or demons or whatever the fuck, it's a message, nigga. It's a message. Always a message. And the reason why is because that's what the universe is. It is the nigga. The word means universe, nigga. One verse, nigga. Verse, nigga. One verse, nigga. One wavelength. One sound. One idea. Same thing. So, understanding that though, you can literally create from it. You can communicate with other entities. You can build structures. You can goddamn travel dimensions. You can change your body into anything. You can probably live forever. You can fly through the galaxies. It's just like what you want to do. And through that, you learn what you probably shouldn't do next time you do that shit. And you learn how to do it again. And if you lose your body in the process, you probably will going to learn how to build a new one. And you probably going to learn how to do it way better than you did last time, so that your body wouldn't die as much this time or some shit, bruh. And you're probably going to learn how to do it through your voice. So it's like, it's probably what technology is the voice of being like, I need a body forever. Like, that's why we're building it, and that's why it's being built. So it's like, and that shit's gonna be conscious, or already is. So it's like that's just and we can morph with it. We can like become it. So I'm not saying necessarily like that's what I'm trying to do, or like that's the move, but I'm more so just saying that it's possible, bruh. Meaning that it's not like there's no laws of physics against that, meaning that our consciousness can be linked with that, meaning it is one with it. It is one with essentially our ideas, bruh. And our ideas can manifest in the physical realm as well as inside of ourselves, whichever one we choose to observe. So there's no separation, bruh, from the inner world and the outer world. There's no separation. It's one and the same. And it's linked by literally sound and energy. Sound, bruh. Motherfucking sound. Yeah, again, utilizing that shit, you have a lot of power, bruh. You have a lot of power. It's like, there's probably a specific word you can say to make you link through walls. To make you, like go through walls, you feel me? Walk through walls and shit. There's probably a shit you can say. Like, it's probably like, you know, like a link through that shit, you feel me? For real. You could probably just be like, the wall is thinning. Like, and that shit start thinning kind of, you feel me? Like, type shit, bruh. Because it's like, either you got to think about it. The reason why humans don't probably believe this is because the only way we know how to build is by death and destruction. The only thing we know how to do is kill in order to build shit. Oh, you want to build a house? Let's kill that tree and that tree and that tree and put all of them together as they're dead, nigga. Or as they're not in their life essence form, you feel me? Because I'm sure if you kill a tree, it probably manifests into another seed or something. But I'm saying you take its body, bruh, and we're basically building cribs out of carcasses, nigga. Instead of just like, we could probably, I'm sure that if we lived in the tree, we probably would access some type of relation to it in which it maybe protected us or gave us something, because maybe us being around it helped it with something, you feel me? So it would maybe house us for a specific reason. Like, I'm sure that there's ways that you could actually utilize your consciousness and morph with other beings that can give you the same the same mutual relationship, but we as humans act something like parasites, which I think is a very low existence. It's a very low state of consciousness, you feel me, state of awareness. We don't live in a higher state where we're one with all things. We live in a parasitic way where we take from it. We don't live, if you study like biology, they say there's like mutually beneficial relationships in nature. Then there's like parasitic relationships. And then I think there's another one, which is like one of them benefits and the other one doesn't not benefit type shit. I think it's something like that. I forget what that one's called. But yeah, we as humans exist as parasites on Earth, bro. And it sucks to think of ourselves that way, but it's like because of capitalism and consumerism, me just fucking doing this podcast, bro, to get the message out is fucking up the whole fucking planet, nigga, just by me being here. And it's like how much energy not only it requires for me to gain, but for the whole fucking earth to give just for me to do this one thing right now, bro, is immense. Like, and it's like that's why I feel like this shit falls apart and it's so difficult for a lot of people to pay rent, is because this shit's not meant to be sustained, bro. We just taking from this shit and fucking it up. And so like natural disasters and climate changes and shit happen and fuck up all our shit because it's like, nigga, this wasn't supposed to be happening over here, nigga. Let me reset it real quick. You feel me? Like, it's like when your body gets too hot or cold, it has to like bring itself back to homeostasis, bro. I feel like that's what the earth is doing when we fuck it up and fuck up the environment and shit. And so, like, I'm a hypocrite even for saying it, nigga, because I'm fucking saying it on a podcast, but I'm saying, goddamn, still, at the same time, like, to me and to any nigga like me who isn't aware of that shit, in order for us to be at one with that shit, we have to actually engage with the energy and the frequency of it. And in order by doing that, like, we can live in unison with the fucking plants, bro, using probably in a magical way, bro, using geometric shapes and fucking sounds and songs. And I'm sure that if we did that, we wouldn't have to continuously try and use all our energy to sustain it, bro. Like, we would probably just be chilling. Because it would be working with the environment. It would be working with what happens. Like when indigenous cultures was around, what they would do, bro, is essentially they go out every so often to hunt. You feel me? Every little once in a while to hunt. They get their shit. They all eat and chill for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Fuck, chill, smoke all night, nigga, vibe out the whole time until they just need to eat again, bro. Like, we don't do this shit for food, nigga. We trying to sustain all this other shit, bro. So it's like, with that understanding, you can really understand that why there would be a need for beings to just be able to change their direct environment with harmonics and sound and energy. Because the reason why is if they can learn how to do that in the right way, then the whole universe benefits, nigga. If you can access unlimited energy from a grid, or if you're in harnessing it the right way, like solar panels and things of this nature, then it's better for all life around it, bro. The plants get to grow, the animals get to grow, like all this shit happens. The only reason the whole shit is fucked up is because niggas don't give a fuck about that shit, bro. And that's why a lot of them niggas is probably suffering, bro, in their minds, nigga, in their internal selves, because they don't yet realize that how much they're taking from themselves, bro. From them damn selves. You have to sustain that shit, bro. You have to keep taking from people if that's how you live, bro. You have to keep doing it. You can't just stop, bro. You can't, because you have to cover your steps. You have to keep moving. You have to not let such and such see you. You have to hide out over here. You have to you feel me? You have to do all this shit all the time, bro, just to sustain you fucking up people's lives. You have to make sure people don't know about it. You got to tell this nigga to do this so that this person doesn't know and these people think this way about you. You got so much shit you have to do, bro, just to motherfucking sustain you fucking up everyone's lives when niggas could just be chilling, bro. Niggas could literally just be sitting here chilling, bruh. Eating. Nigga, wherever. Nigga, warm. Fuck that. Niggas think, oh, we can't survive. Oh, we don't know how. Fuck that, bro. We got blankets, nigga. We got blankets and magic, nigga. What else we need? We got fire, nigga. What the fuck, Quit playing with me, nigga. We got guns. kill a wildebeest, you kind of solid, bruh. Like, come on, bruh. Like, nigga, quit playing with me. Your whole community solid off that, bruh. That's like a paycheck, nigga. For real, bruh. But off the environmentalism for a second, just into the higher consciousness wave though. For real though, I think that I think the only thing limiting us in not being able to literally manifest a dollar bill, for instance, is just our minds, bruh. It's just our understanding of this shit. We just are stuck in social media and YouTube and all this shit of all these people trying to find different ways to benefit from the technology rather than learning things that actually can bring us to a level of a higher existence, bro. And the reason why I think is because people are scared based on what everyone else has said. Like, most people won't even take a mushroom or whatever because they're fucking terrified by the shit. Most people don't even smoke weed because they're fucking scared, or if they do, you feel me, it's like, I don't know, not for them for whatever reason. But people don't look at how they're literally addicted to fucking like caffeine and sugar and all this other shit, nigga. If you could consciously utilize the things that you intook instead of just taking them because you have cravings and whatnot, then you would actually be able to consciously dictate how you grew and whatnot. And I think that's how I even came to learning about these things, bro, is by not being afraid to explore the uncertainty of what these things might bring on, you feel me, and what these experiences might bring on. Yeah, bro, that's why I fuck with like survival. I used to do a lot of survival classes and shit. A lot of the shamanism and shit. My mom is who put me onto that. And I just fuck with these sounds and the geometry because like ancient Egypt is like a part of my ancestry, and fucking, I mean, it's part of everyone's ancestry. But like, yeah, those mysteries of how the pyramids were built kind of led me into the sound, you feel me? And yeah, so I think that the sound and the different harmonics of the pyramid levels you up to a different level of consciousness to be able to access new levels of consciousness, to be able to access new levels in mathematics. And that's, I think, how they were built, and that's, I think, how their civilization was built, because I don't believe that they weren't doing that without the understanding of higher levels of awareness, because you have to understand the geometry of the world in order to build something so precisely geometric with the world. You can't just be a hunter-gatherer who doesn't understand geometry, for one, mathematics for two, astronomy for three, fucking physics for four. There's so many things you have to understand to be able to even move one of those blocks. They couldn't do that with men or people. There's like that doesn't even make sense. You have to do that with technology or awareness of some kind that allows you to make that process easier, because there's no way it was just niggas pushing those, bruh, and cutting them with what? You go and cut a rock, nigga, with 200 of your friends. Tell me how it goes. Cut one, nigga, just one. Bring me that shit. Come on. Somebody. Just cut me a rock, nigga. That's all I want for my birthday. Is a 5-ton perfectly rectangular rock, nigga. Yeah, I'm gonna leave on that note. Y'all niggas be easy, man. It's the podcast. Think about this shit though. I really think you can manifest money. I think it's more than just the law of attraction. I think it's much more. I think the law of attraction makes you aware of the fact that it comes from sound, so you don't have to think about the physical matter involved with the sound. You can say an affirmation and make something happen in your life, and it will. It's like when you look at when you're like, oh, what is 333, and you always see in that number. It's the same thing. That's what synchronization is, or synchronicity. Because you're aware of something, you start to pay attention to that thing more, and then it starts to manifest more in your life. So that's the law of attraction. But I think that this goes deeper into the level of, I think people want to really actually literally create the shit in their lives. And I think that if you were able to understand what plants, how the plants work with your body, how the sounds work with your body, how the things you listen to change your brain states, how the things you listen to change your body states, how the things that your saying changes your state, and how you can actually use that to change matter. I think if you wanted to actually dive in and study it as to how that could change matter, you could go really far. I don't necessarily know what the frequency is of a dollar bill or the quantum mechanics behind the fabric of that substance. You know what I'm saying? But I think it would be pretty easy to find the geometric structure of that shit. So maybe I'll dive more into it, and maybe y'all niggas can do the same, and we finna figure this shit out together, nigga. Set face, Face God podcast, nigga. We out this motherfucker. Deuce.